Hello. If you understand history correctly, you can see the future. Today, let's consider the Great Awakening in America and Syngman Rhee together. Syngman Rhee's heart, once negative towards Christianity, changed after experiencing God in Hanyang prison. This was around January 1899. As you may know, when did the Welsh revival in Britain occur? It was in 1904, right? The main figure of this revival movement was a young man named Evan Roberts. The theme of one meeting he attended was "Bend me, Lord." In prison, Syngman Rhee, this phrase captivated Roberts' heart. So, Roberts prayed fervently to God, "Bend me, Lord, bend me, bend me." The God who subdued Evan Roberts covered the entire region of Wales with a wave of revival, igniting the nation and cities, down to the underground coal mines, with the glory of the gospel. This revival later landed on the Korean Peninsula in 1907, spreading to the Pyongyang Great Revival movement. Evan Roberts. So, 5 years before the Welsh revival and 8 years before the Pyongyang Great Revival movement, God had already visited young Syngman Rhee, who was waiting for the end of his life as a death row inmate in Hanyang prison. Hallelujah! In the barren land of Joseon, in a dark prison, God's holy touch was upon Syngman Rhee. Doesn't it warm the hearts of us believers to know that the founding of South Korea happened through Rhee, who was waiting for death in despair? It is a historical fact that God saved the man who was to die and used him. Can't you feel God's persistent heart writhing towards the failing Joseon? Around that time, a revival movement was unfolding in America through Dwight Moody. In 1886, the student volunteer movement began with the motto, "The evangelization of the world in this generation." Many young people dreamed of overseas missions and scattered across the world. Joseon was one of the biggest beneficiaries. Influenced by Pastor Moody, numerous pioneering missionaries like Underwood, Appenzeller, Gale, Moffat, Graham Lee, Gifford, and Clark set foot on the land of Joseon. God's passionate heart for the failing Joseon was conveyed to the missionaries, and young people who read that heart volunteered as missionaries to enter Joseon. They were paying attention to Syngman Rhee, the death row inmate. How can this be called a coincidence? 4 years before the 1904 Welsh revival, God had already touched a young man in Joseon. Joseph, brought low to prison, when all human hope had vanished. Wasn't it God who called Joseph out of prison through Pharaoh of Egypt? Syngman Rhee, trapped in the deepest despair of humanity, experienced God in that prison. How must the hearts of the missionaries who heard this news have felt? If you were the missionaries of that time, you probably would have felt that God was touching Syngman Rhee. The missionaries' hearts must have beaten like yours. The vision of the missionaries for Joseon would have become more solidified. That's why they had to save Rhee. Wasn't that the heart of God for Joseon? I was moved while writing this manuscript. I was overwhelmed. There is more content I would like to convey through this video, but it seems best to stop here for today. The founding of South Korea began with God's guidance and grace. Therefore, South Korea is not a hell Joseon, but a land of grace. It is a land with a future and hope. We must love this country and protect it, and we should embrace God's heart for this nation, because it is a country that started as the fruit of the American revival movement, and a country where God's plan and purpose are planted. To everyone watching this video, I hope we can dream together of an advanced and missionary Korea, envisioning the dream Korea.